You know, when it comes to going to the chiropractor, there are two kinds of people: those who go frequently to get treatment for an injury, and those who are leery about going because of all the myths we often hear. Well, Brian Spiros visited with Delmarva Chiropractic in Salisbury to find out which myths you can put to rest, plus how you know it's time to see a chiropractor.
Chiropractic care is nothing new. In fact, it dates back centuries. The Greeks and Chinese were some of the first to use spinal manipulation to help alleviate various ailments. In today's world, there are many people who turn to a chiropractor to help relieve pain or discomfort.
We tend to focus on what they call the nervous system and the musculoskeletal system, so muscles, joints, bones, tendons, ligaments.
Dr. Daniel Lane is the co-owner of Delmarva Chiropractic in Salisbury. He, along with his business partner, Dr. David Brown, opened the practice in 2007.
Within our profession, what many people don't know, there's well over 100 different techniques of chiropractic. There's a very core or popular 6 or 10 that are taught in the schools, but then you can go out on your own and learn other techniques. There's some that use more velocity or speed, and some that use less, some that use more force, some that use less. And so it's up to the doctors to try to learn as many as they can and to have different techniques, because not every technique is suited for every person.
Some people may think in order to go to the chiropractor, you need to be having neck or back pain. While those issues are commonly treated, Dr. Lane says chiropractic care is able to address a wide range of problems, such as arthritis, allergies, tendinitis, migraines, numbness in the body, sports injuries, car accident injuries, even carpal tunnel. Dr. Lane says the main principle behind any treatment is to look at the big picture, find out what's causing the problem, and treat it. Not to mention, an injury left untreated can impact other parts of the body. So how do you know when it's time to go see a chiropractor?
We all have little aches and pains, and I don't want to give the impression that you wake up with a pain and an ache and you got to make a phone call to the office. No. When something starts to become problematic, or you've had that condition for a week or more, okay, then we know that that would be the time to call. The earlier you can get on these things, the better.
Dr. Lane explained that long-term injuries left untreated can actually start impacting parts of the brain.
Studies are showing that 1 year of being in constant and chronic pain ages the brain by 10 years.
Even with that said, there are people who are leery about going to the chiropractor, mainly because of the many myths that have taken on a life of their own. We decided to get to the bottom of the top 4 with the help of Dr. Lane. Myth number 1, chiropractors aren't real doctors.
For sure not true. There's many doctors of many different types. In order to have the designation of doctor, it's not something that we allowed ourselves to have in the profession on our own. It's a title designated by the federal government that you've met with your curriculum certain guidelines that every doctor shares.
Myth number 2, once you start going to the chiropractor, you must always go.
I think to a large degree our profession has really not done well at educating the public. For instance, the way the dental profession has. There's acute care where you come in and you're hurt, and God willing we can help, okay? Then once you're out of pain, as I instruct my patients, you're given a few options. Option number 1 is come back when you're hurt again, okay? If you choose, all right? And option number 2 would be a maintenance program, so to speak. Do we encourage people to do maintenance? I do. And I tell them, it's whatever you want. I might recommend 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks, depends on many factors, but it's purely voluntary.
Myth number 3, you can actually adjust yourself.
So when you go and do your own neck, okay, you're number 1, typically moving the wrong joint, all right? Number 2, it's really not a focused treatment, okay? And so you may be moving things that don't need to be moved, because you can do that.
Finally, myth number 4, adjustments are painful. Dr. Lane says in some cases, especially if a person was recently injured, there may be some pain involved in the recovery process, but usually that's not the case.
80% of the time, there's no pain involved, and in fact, they feel almost immediate relief.
Dr. Lane says at the end of the day, there's one important thing to remember.
My patients range from, like I said, 1 day old all the way up to 90s and into the hundreds. People who cease to move don't do well, okay? And in fact, that's usually their end days. So I would tell people the two main rules are move, 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 okay, and balance. Life is about balance.
And Dr. Lane says he and his staff do offer a free consultation. This way, potential patients can come in and get a feel for everything if they've never gone to a chiropractor before. And if you'd like more information on Delmarva Chiropractic, just go to delmarvalife.com. Well, still ahead on Delmarva Life, an out-of-this-world experience without leaving the ground. It's a Party with the Stars, the free event for the whole family that brings the wonders of the universe into plain view. We'll be right back.